Hello there and welcome back. Today I want to talk about my renewed immense love for this machine. So, as you know, I have a lot of gear keep coming, blah blah blah, but sometimes I just plug back something that I already own and I realize how amazing that was. So one important thing is like to realize that no matter how many toys I have something that I bought and I kept it. It's years I have it, and it's always coming home when you turn it on. So I had the Analog Rytm since the beginning, since when they released it. It's one of the few things that I bought and never resell, not like the Octatrack that happened like 4 times. But I have to say that I never used it so much until I got the studio all sorted out here in Berlin, and now I put it on top of my other favorite things of the studio, the Zell desk, with some of my favorite effects and my favorite other little thing, the 303. With this in front of me, I'm able to create almost everything I love. Mostly my kind of music, what I want. But the things that I found out about the Rytm is that it's so versatile, and the sounds can go in so many places that literally I can safely say right now, this is my favorite drum machine ever. Is the one that I probably will be happy with if I only have to choose one. I did already a video about this would be my desert island too, but I wanted to renew that and give you 5 points why I think, to me, this is the standout drum machine, modern drum machine right now. Before going on, as usual, I'm asking you to support my channel, and you can do by subscribing. You can do by sharing this content, completely free. You can do by buying, using the affiliate link down below. They work like you pay the same exact amount, but I get a tiny percentage and that keep me going. And then the final way you can support, it's by becoming my Patreon. That is probably the best way. On Patreon I go more in depth, I do one-on-one, so a lot of things. And also exclusive video. There's by now more than 100 exclusive video about a lot of stuff. So, and also you can buy my music on Bandcamp, don't forget that. So let's go back on the Analog Rytm. What it is at its core a drum machine, but for each of its machine, for each of its channel, it has basically 12 voices, but a few of them, 4 of them, share the engine, so they choke each other. But you can also apply an analog machine plus other utilities plus a sample. So that makes it extremely powerful. I will go through my favorite things, so rather than the description, you can go check my previous video. There's so many stuff out there, but it's kind of limiting using it as only a drum machine, even though I love to use instrument for one thing only. I am getting very confused when, you know, you have those incredible not workshop, but anyway, you know, there's instrument that can do everything. They can do drum, they can do sound. I don't like that too much because I need to focus on one use for one instrument. That's why I love the Avalon, because it does my bass line, and this one right now do all the drum needs. Sometimes I use the percons down there. Sometimes I use this one for bass because it has a VCO. Sometimes I use it for sample, so it is very versatile, but I like to use it just for drum, from drum purposes, plus all the other things I will explain. So let's start off my 5 point why I love it. Number 1, the sound. you cannot go far if a machine sounds bad. I think the rhythm, it sounds brilliant. Not only you can use samples, so basically you can do whatever you want with it, but each machine has its own purpose. And I gravitate towards the same. Like for kick, I 99% use always the silk one, because I think it sounds so beautiful with that noise, with the use of a touch of filter. You can do amazing things only with that. And by the way, my next Patreon video is going to be some sound design with the analog rhythm, so if you want to go in depth, maybe you want to sign up. So yeah, it has a lot of sounds. I, again, choose most of the time the same. I have few secret technique on how to use impulse machine and noise machine to create actual instrument and notes, which I love and which gives a lot of texture and interesting voice. It has analog filtering and analog distortion, plus it has a compressor, so it sounds great. Now, if you use it as a standalone machine, for example, using just the main out, then you can really make it shiny by the use of the FX track and using the comp, the compressor. It really put things together and make it sound big. But since I have this beautiful Zell desk, what I'm doing now is using it in few different modes. One would be through overbridge and send everything clean, every single channel into the DAW, but sometimes that is really overkill, or I want to get coloration from the desk since I have it. So I like to use the direct out and make it sounds even nicer using some EQ, effects, what you were listening before. This track it's basically a lot of processing from the desk too. I have some reverb, I have some delay, but most of it comes from the machine itself. So I feel that if you own this machine, you will be covered for any kind of sound you want. You have machines that are going towards the 808, towards the 909, and something more modern. I did a comparison with this one with the Syntakt. I'll talk about that later also, and the machine drum. Of all of them, this is the more versatile sound-wise, and it is the more modern. The machine drum is still in my heart too, because there's some quirky value that it's none other machine can do. But yeah, this one covers all of your needs. And let me also be very straight and honest. My renewed love for the rhythm, it's thanks to Rodhad, because he's using one for most of his stuff. And after watching him and his video, I said, I need to learn the machine better and use it more. So yeah, he really influenced me on that. That said, let's talk about reason 2, versatility. The versatility comes in very way. First, the outs. Yes, you have all the outs in the back, plus the main, plus you have external in and audio in. So with this machine you can do also some processing of other stuff. For example, in one setup that I use sometime, I send the Avalon inside it and then I process it inside it. So with 2 small units I could do a live set. Then you have the overbridge, and overbridge mirror digitally all of your tracks, plus also the external instrument, plus the effects, the comp. So with one cable, just one USB cable, you have everything separate. So it's unbelievably good. Then the samples gives you a lot of versatility, because for each track, you can add a sample, and that, can make these be something else. You can load a melodic sample, you can load other drum machine sample. So I see artists, take Tilliander, TM44, you can do magic with just using a rhythm, but there's so many artists that use this as a live performative tool. Again, the external hints is something that not a lot of people think about it, and you might think just because this is a sampler too, so you can not live, but you can sample instrument and then play it. So it's not that I use that a lot. So that's a way to use the external in, but the other way, it's to just use it as a mixer, and then it will be mirrored by USB, so you will have it in your DAW. So if you run out of ints in your sound card, you can use this, and this will give you more ins and out. So I find out that this is now the centerpiece of my studio because it's connected via USB, not now, because otherwise I screwed up with the recording of the video. But what happened is, like, Ableton sent these the sync here. So this is reason 3 that I love this. This became my main clock of the entire studio. So it's connected through Ableton, and through Overbridge. And when I press play on Ableton, this start, and then MIDI out here goes into my MIDI card, the Motu, and then goes all over the studio. So this allows me first to have minimum latency, because when I use Overbridge, basically I have 0 latency. I don't know how they do and how it's calculated, but anyway, it's the only plugin that I have in the DAW. I have nothing else, so I minimize all latency. And then with the sync between the two through USB, it's very, very solid and works really well. So this now, it's the machine that gives clock to all the studio. And trust me, latency and sync all of your things when you have a lot of stuff, it's one of the most painful things. It was a painful experience to realize how things doesn't work. With this solution right now, I am completely fine. Also, I changed my sound card recently with an Antelope Orion. They sent one to me to test, and it's pretty amazing, rock solid in the latency department. So I'm really happy that things finally are smooth. So that was my other reason. It's a great way to clock all the studio and make it a centerpiece. So then the performance part of it. There's 2 things that I didn't use it a lot before, but now I am. And one is the scene, and one is the quick performance. I create this pattern right now, so let's listen to it. So I have 2 things going on. This is remove every other effects and stuff. I create one scene, and scene is a sort of, you push the button and everything changes. Similar to what you would do in the Octatrack when you slide. But actually no, that's his performance. Cancel what I just said. So for example, I click this scene and here how everything changes. Instantly change, right? So you can create 12 different scenes. Amazing. Maybe more, I don't know, but I think 12. And then you have performance. In performance, the more you push the button, it's velocity sensitive, the more you change, but you can assign the quick performance to one of the performance button here, and then you have this that works exactly as the Octatrack slider here. So I can decide a certain amount of it. And this works great because I can be in the scene page and change scene and create variation on the fly. This is amazing. Like, you can do crazy stuff with it. You can change all of the parameter. You have a not unlimited lock, but you can do a lot of stuff. So I think performance-wise, this is a great machine. Also, what I love is the fact that you have the pad in front of you. Now, I'm not a finger drummer. I don't like really, but when you do sound design, the fact that you can access all of your track just pushing it, it's great. I don't use a lot the velocity of it. A lot of people say they're not the most comfortable pad to play, especially in the older version, but it's fine. It's having everything in front of you and quickly change track like that and do your sound design is good. And sometimes I record just pressing these two buttons, the record and play button, so I can live record things I never do, maybe for things that need to be on grid. But yeah, it's good. It's good. And okay, let's go to the final point of why this is an amazing machine, and it's the sequencer. Now, if you are into Elektron stuff, you know how the Elektron sequencer is great. There's a lot of other style of sequencing out there. This is based on the XOX, 909, 808 kind of sequencer, classic. So you have 16 step and you put the trigs. But what I love of this new Elektron machine is that first you have probability on the track, which is amazing. You can put like 16 step and then remove the probability and will act on the track, not per step. So you don't have to push every single button and decide the probability of it. Love it. I wish Octatrack had that. It would change my life, but it doesn't. Then you have all the bonus of like the conditional trig, the probability trig. It's very, very well done. Once you're used to that, it's a no-brainer. It's one of the best sequencer ever invented. A lot of people now copied it, and it's fine because they set the thing when these come out back in the day. I guess was the Octatrack the first having conditional. I don't know if Machine Drum or Mono Machine had it before, but still it's a sort of revolution in the way you can use a sequencer. And yeah, I love my technique. Usually I never use the page here. You have 4 pages of 16 step, but I usually stay on page 1 because I need to have everything in front of me, and so I change the length of the division of it, or I had conditional tricks. So usually when I create a pattern, I always do variation on just 16 step. It helps me a lot. My brain otherwise will fry. And then you have different length, different division per track. It's really, really, really good. So that's it. That was my 5 reasons of my renewed love of the Rytm, and why I would definitely tell you, if you need a drum machine that does it all and it's the best in the market, for me right now is this one. That said, I said in few video before that Syntakt was my favorite box of Elektron, and I stand with that sentence. I stand by the fact that I love the Syntakt. Syntakt has my favorite sound from the Rytm. He has it inside, so I could live perfectly just having the Syntakt. Plus Syntakt adds more sound because it has a chord, he has a very interesting synth, and it has 2 LFO instead of 1, if this one only had 2 LFO. So why I am not using the Syntakt instead of the Rytm? For just one main reason. I have real estate on my desk right now, and I want this to be used just for drumming purposes. So as long as you go in that direction and you have more dough for what you need, you have more versatility. Plus I have all the separate out. Now the Syntakt has the overbridge, so I could use the separate out in the DAW, but right now my setup is all on the board, all analog or hardware, so having the direct out really is important to me. So sound-wise, I could be happy with both of them, and also Syntakt is considerably cheaper. It's smaller, that for some of you could be good, and for live purposes could be very good, but I guess sooner or later I will have the Syntakt next here, so I will have 3 things. One thing that I really kind of missing right now is the analog 4. It could be something that I would like to try next to it, and I never had it I had it on loan a friend gave it to me for a few days, so I never had the chance to really learn it. It might be interesting to have it and compare to the Vermona and see, smaller, more practical, who knows. Anyway, this was my Renew love letter. I did another love letter to another drum machine, and that was the TR8 from Roland, which I still love for just live purposes. I won't ever use it in a studio, but the TR8, the old one, is great, great, great for live. It's super simple, and if you need a basic kind of hit-in-your-face sound, that it's fine. And also bloody cheaper than this one. But yeah, I feel now I cannot be without this guy. And I'm really happy I give it another chance, and now it sits in front of me every day. Okay, now I will do some quick other sounds and tests so you can listen, so stay tuned, and yeah, I'll see you next week. Ciao.